guys, what is going on? What's good? What's good? Hope you guys are ready for today. For today, man. It has been a absolute wild week, man. For real. For real. It's been so mixed. It's been diverse. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that makes for... There's still good setups. But it makes for difficult conditions, man. Difficult conditions. So, I was looking for longs on Nasdaq. I missed it. I fucking missed it, dude. Because I wanted to show you this so bad. I wanted to show you that or that, like, so bad, and I fucking missed it. And then now we're here. You know what I mean? That, what is it? That NCE, that next candle entry. Then I missed it. Didn't get in on the 1 minute mitigation, and then I cried missing this entire move. So, you know, it'd be like that. Drop a like if you've ever missed a trade and that was a trade you were looking for. Drop a like if you've ever missed a trade before. And I got the member goal up here. We're at 134 active members. We have just over 7,000 subscribers as well. So that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. What's good, Naruto, Sean, YBK, Alex? I think Tesla is dirt, in my opinion, but that's just me. What's good, Monkey, Lucas, Sandro, Leon, Pavlos, Ivan, Alex, C, Zay, Nikki, Electric, Felix, 2020, Beverly, Leon, Willow, Hermita, Chad, what up, man? What's good, Electric, Nina, I think that should be everybody. Infinity, what's good? And Stephanie. Can you run through how a master misses a trade like that? Fucking missed. I mean, there's no other way to put it, bro. I was just and fucking missed it. I mean, there's no more to it than that. There is no more to it than that, my friend. I was looking at S&P today too. That's what did it. Equities open 8:30. We dropped lower. And what I was wanting to do is I was waiting for this 5-minute candle to close. Oh no, it was the first 5-minute candle, sorry. And then when it met the low and then traded off of it, I switched to the S&P, went to look at that. And then by the time this came around, it was gone. But this is a perfect example of entering right after a stop run. And like on that next candle, right? That 8:35 candle closes, that next candle opens. To me, this is just something that I do. Obviously not today, fuck that up. But in a lot of cases, what I'll do is I'll long that next candle, hopefully below the open, with a stop at that low. Okay, with a stop right there at that low. Or, you know, if you guys don't want to do that, that's fine. You can wait for this high, and I'm pointing to the bodies, by the way. That body broken on the upside here, drops down into that down or that up candle here, excuse me. That is a mitigation. So same idea, stop down here, entry at dot. And the only problem I have here too is what the target is, because I had no idea. I wasn't going to aim for this at that time. I wasn't going to aim for that. So that was also a thing too. So, I mean, like I anticipated it, and then it just wasn't doing what I wanted to do. I was looking at S&P, and then even if I got in, I'm like, well, what's the target? And well, frankly, didn't have one. So And it's Friday. Told you guys Friday's typically my worst day anyway. Know what I'm saying? So that's the best answer I got for you. Sometimes you just miss and that's it. You just wait till next week. What's good, John C? What's good, Lamoth? Dollar's consolidating since the beginning of 2023, but the indices rallied a lot. What do you think about the long-term consolidation in the dollar? I don't know. I do think the dollar today's in an interesting place, though, where we have some lows at 103.94, and then we have some intraday highs at whatever that is, 104.26. So, look at this price action today. Look at this. Chop Nation. I don't like it. But stocks at all-time highs. SPY finally hit 500. Right, that 500 whole level debt. I know some people on Twitter have been talking about that. So there's your 500, and I do believe that's all-time highs for the S&P. Look at that shit. Look at that run. That's not bad. Same thing with triple Qs, and the difference here is I don't think Dow has the same. All right, I don't know what any of those are. Excuse me. So what is the Dow doing? Right? Like, what is this? So if you take the Dow, right, being weak, let me just go to the future side. You see the difference in today? You see the difference between Dow today? Look at this. Look at Nasdaq. It's above 18K, by the way. Right? 18K. Take a look at ES. If I didn't mention this earlier, this is all that I'm looking at today. We do have consolidation from whenever that is. Like 1 minute equal lows at 50.23, and then just some small time frame lows at 50.25. And the current high of the day as of right now is 50.43. So as far as the afternoon session goes, I don't know. You know, are we gonna follow suit with Nasdaq and trade above that high, or is it going to be too weak to do that and then maybe run some trailing stops in the afternoon? I have no idea. I have no idea. Literally, I don't know. So that's that. But yeah, so anyway, my point is the Dow is completely wrecked while the Nasdaq is a lot higher. So it's been like that all week. All week it's been like that. Just annoying. You know? It's just annoying. I imagine you came up with the next candle entry after missing trade ideas, waiting to see what would happen next after the stop run. I can sort of explain it to you. It's really just taking a higher time frame concept and just jamming it to a lower time frame. So I'll explain that. I'll do my that'll be probably a quick lesson for today and go from there. Chad, what asset were you talking about? Why not that high? I would like to hear your rationale. What were we talking about? Were we talking about S&P up here? Sorry, I cycle through shit a lot. Like, a lot. I probably do that more than anybody else. You know, you get fucking bored and you just cycle through shit all day. Oh, for Nasdaq? Oh, like why I didn't target this high as an upside. Well, dude, like when you're looking at it, in hindsight, yeah, this absolutely exploded for that. But at the time, right, it's dropping lower, and then this to me just is not a target that I care for. That's usually going to be like manipulation or, you know, something like that. And so I just am not always comfortable with targeting something like that. That's all it is. I'm trying to find low resistant highs or equal highs or, you know, something like that. And this to me, I just didn't want to target that. If anything, I would have got out at that new high on a 5 minute. I can tell you right now, if anything, as soon as it hit that, I would have just been out and it would have been a scalp for me. I wouldn't have, and then I would have came on here and bitched about how I didn't catch the rest of it. So that's how that would have went. You know, that's how that would have went. You said to target next psychological levels if at all-time highs it was a gem. Yeah, I appreciate that. I don't think there's too many people out there that are saying that. But yeah, so fresh highs for, well, ES, the SPY ETF rather, not ES, because ES is not, in the open market, has not traded above this high because this was pre-market. But SPY is at all-time highs. Nasdaq futures are at all-time highs, and we're above 18K. So in a long time ago, like when I used to trade binary, I used to take like EOD contracts, like an end of day. I'd say, okay, cool, I'm gonna short this, and I'm gonna aim for a close below 18K. Okay, that's like what I would used to do with the binary. Like I would just say, man, you know, fuck the entry. I'm just trying to see what the end of the day is going to do and usually get that sell off, right? That's kind of the vibes I'm getting, but I don't know. We'll watch it. But yeah, so let me explain this next candle entry to you. This is, again, this is more of a higher time frame concept, but we'll do it. All right. So imagine for a second, this is like a long-term low. Okay. So just imagine for a second. And this is a daily or even a weekly time frame. If the market, let's just draw a little bit longer quick. If the market trades below that old low, that's fine. That's what you want, right? You want liquidity to be absorbed from, you know, various price levels. From on Forex, it could be 10, 15, 20 pips. Larger time frames, it could be like even up to like 50, 60 pips. It just depends. But what it's doing, if it is a stop run on a daily time frame, let's say this is a Thursday or a Friday, whatever, if we have something way above the market, like say there's an imbalance up here. Again, you got to imagine for a second. Use your imagination like a 5-year-old, okay? So imagine there's an imbalance up here, and this is a stop run on the daily. So between the next day, I think it's this one. Between the next daily candle and the next like week, maybe 2 weeks, I'm anticipating higher pricing. Okay. So I'm looking for buys after a stop run to the downside if there's something on the higher time frame or like above the market. Okay. Now, this is a very simple idea that you can backtest. Okay. This is not, you know, pick whatever time frame you want. You know what? I think FX might be a little bit easier. All right, I'm just going to give you this as an example. Okay, this is obviously hindsight. This is from a long time ago. This is from January of last year. All right. So at 101.43 back in May of 2022, there was a short-term low. It was a very shitty low, but it was a low on the dollar index. So if you look at January 2023, right, what took place? We had consolidation for a couple weeks, and then look at this candle right here. It trades lower and then really trades aggressively off of that. So then February comes along. So if you're bullish on the weekly time frame, between whenever that week's candle closes, so the following, it's actually a new month as well. So that means in February, especially if there's a seasonal pattern that is bullish for dollar. I don't know what February is. I haven't looked at it. But if you go, okay, dollar index should be bullish up until what? Well, we're already past an imbalance or just heading into an imbalance. So maybe, or this high. So for the next few weeks or so, again, after that candle forms, when the next candle opens, I'm going to start looking predominantly for bullish positions on dollar, which would be bearish positions on currency, euro, British pound, Aussie, Kiwi, shit like that. Okay. So then if we go to a daily, right, if we drop down to a daily time frame, not every single day, but predominantly, what's the focus? I'm going to look for long positions. Okay. So what do we say February, right? It was after this week closed. I don't know what fucking candle that weekly closed on. This one? I think it was this one. Yeah, that's a Friday. Okay. So that means right after that. So after this up candle here closes, that next candle, okay, I'm looking for long positions. So we get some bullshit here a little bit, but right, there's a gap right there. So on an intraday basis, I would predominantly look for long positions. Okay. So on a seasonal basis, because I'm not going to take a trade off the weekly or daily time frame and have a stop on the daily time frame. That's just too much. I can't do it. Stops are too big. I don't want to risk that much money. It's just not, it's not in my nature. But if this, say, was a 1 minute time frame, okay, after that up candle here, I'll long the gap, probably stop at this low, and that's why I'm telling you that's a fat stop loss, and I would never do that. I would never do that on a daily time frame. But I'd say, okay, entry there, maybe a stop at like this down candle here, at the low end of the down candle maybe, and then I'm going to target a new high. Okay, now this RR is, it's kind of shitty. It's a 1 to 5, and there's obviously ways to fix that, but this is just for example because I'm trying to speed run you through this lesson here. That's the idea. Okay. But again, this is weekly, daily time frame. All you got to do is scrunch it. That's why I said this could be a 1 minute time frame. Okay. So now when you take this same idea, go back into Nasdaq. Let's go to Nasdaq for a minute. Okay. Now come down here. What took place? We took out London's low at 835. Equities open. We dropped down. We scooped the low, right? Price closes off of that low. That next candle, soon as that next candle opens, I'm starting to look for long positions, either at the open of the candle or like maybe a couple ticks below, right? Because that's without going to the 1 minute time frame. But I could just say, fuck it. Candle opens, boom, I'm going to long, stop at the low. And then what am I aiming for? You have an imbalance right there. And then if you're attacking liquidity, that's going to be up here. There's a 1 to 3 right there, boom. Now it does get close to your stop. I'm not going to lie to you. It does. It gets very close. But you know what it doesn't do? It doesn't hit the stop loss. In CFDs, maybe. In futures, it didn't. And then look what happens. Price rallies. Oh, a pullback. Oh, am I going to be scared about a pullback? No, because it's trading into a mitigation. You allow for that. And then go, oh, okay, cool. I'll hold it. Boom. Runs to UTP. Next candle entry. Okay. If you don't like that, there's always the 15-minute as well. Did you ever notice that? Look at that wick on the 15-minute. That doesn't look like a stop run to you? Look at that wick. Look at that wick. You bet your ass that's a stop run. Next candle at 8:45. Let's investigate this real quick. Watch this. Let's investigate. 8:45 is when this candle forms. What time's it hit that mitigation? 8:53. Do you notice that? 8:45 is when that 15-minute candle closes. Fuck, it's one of these two. 44. 8:45 is here. And then, so I guess it closes there at the up candle. Okay. So right at 8:45 at 17,903.5. Okay, cool. I'm going to look for long positions now on the 15-minute time frame. 1 minute mitigation. Done. Does that make sense? So I know it's only been like, I don't know, like 10 minutes or so, but that's the very shortest amount of time I can take to give you that idea. Next candle, and it's entering right after a stop run. You're basically playing that next candle. Okay? But you can do that on every time frame. Just know the higher time frames are going to be a little bit more trustworthy. The smaller time frames, you got to be careful. Okay? Jordan, I don't have thoughts on gold today. It's just like dollar to me. It's just very weird. Has it happened several times in your trading career that there was no correlation? Yeah. In the Dow today, are these events unique? No. The indices do get like this every once in a while. They definitely do. And it looks like I'm just glancing over here. It looks like the Dow's trying to catch up with the other indices. It's struggling greatly behind. And then S&P, it's looking like it wants to grab that pre-market high. It's looking like it wants to do that. But for me, like it's awkward to hold longs when you have all of this down here. To me, you have consolidation, equal, like quadruple lows here, shallow stop run, and then another set of equal lows, and then another set of lows, and it's just drifting higher. I mean, it's not a surprise, again, given that SPY's at all-time highs. Like, that's not a surprise. But on an intraday basis, like, I find that very hard to hold longs in an environment like this. But no, it's indices get like this when they're highly correlated, and then one of them, you know, breaks lower while the other two are higher. That's my favorite. That's the divergence I look for. But when they're this far out of correlation, where one rallies all day, the other one sells off all day, it's just horrible to me. There's still going to be opportunities, but it's just horrible to me. And thank you, Felix, for the reminder about dollar. Even wicked into an imbalance on a 15-minute time frame. When there is a long wick, do you worry about any imbalance that may still be on the left? Well, I mean, that's probably what it traded into. You can add that if you want. Right there. How far can price go below a low? an imbalance. And that's exactly what it reached for. It's exactly what it reached for. I think that's what your question was. Yeah, it looks kind of, doesn't look very good on the 5-minute, but the 15-minute looks pretty good. That's another good place for a stop as well, in my opinion. What makes you sure that the next candle entry don't go to the direction of your stop loss instead of retracement? It is because of very long wicks that confirm the stop run. Yeah, Lucas, stuff like this. If this is a stop run, it will not trade below that again. And this is why the mitigation model is so powerful. And I'm not trying to like brag too much about that, but to be fair, it's a fucking monster. That's what makes the mitigation model so powerful, is because you're waiting for that stop run, and then that shift in price delivery or shift in break of structure, whatever. I think any of those ideas, once you see that, that's what makes that mitigation and imbalance so powerful, is because it's post liquidity run. It's after the liquidity run. You can buy the imbalance below the old low. You can outright do that. And I've done it. But to me, again, it's just better to wait for the next candle on a 5-minute, 15-minute, or to just say, fuck it, wait for the actual break of structure and then a setup that you like. It's all dependent upon what you want to do. There's multiple ways to enter a market. Okay? Oh, welcome back, Stephanie's guest. Welcome back. I don't know what GH3 is. Electric. I'm trying to understand your question there. I understand we don't trade fundamentals, but I heard the Nasdaq is pumping because of all the money being pumped into tech companies and their earnings coming out this week. Yeah, there's been some pretty monster moves in the Nasdaq this week. Let me take a brief look at that really quick. PayPal is ass McGee. Nvidia has been smashing it. Oh my God. Yeah, I know a lot of politicians and whatnot who trade Nvidia. They're killing it the last couple of months or so. I won't get into it. Amazon, same thing. I believe Amazon actually on a weekly time frame has low resistant highs at 188. So we're probably easily going to be able to get there. I know it's very late, but I've had that on my chart for a little while. I don't know how long that's been. It formed back in 2021. So that might be a good strike price for some options in the next coming weeks or so. Let me see, Charter. Ugh, get that out of here. Google. I think they had a shit earnings a few weeks ago. Yeah, they got wrecked back here. But look, here's kind of an example as well of the next candle entry. Look at that. February, swipe that low. And it's been bullish since then. It had one down day, but it's been bullish since. So if you're on small time frames looking for longs on Google, there you go. Not bad. Again, easy example. It's hindsight, obviously, but you know that's there. Intel, they got dumped on. Tesla, they've been getting dumped on. Microsoft is doing pretty well. Netflix, Ned Flizzy, is doing pretty well the last couple weeks. Not a great next candle entry idea, but we had some lows here that was swept on the 2nd. And then if you were looking for longs, there was a couple of down days, but fairly bullish for Apple, like fairly. And then what's also been killing the Nasdaq like for the upside rather, meaning they're doing really well, is Facebook, aka Meta. So yeah, this is not a surprise that the triple Qs would be at all-time highs up here. See that? That's just monstrous. That's just monstrous. But yeah. And I don't know what you mean by fundamentals though. There's a mitigation at 17. Let me go back to what you were talking about. Because you were talking about down here. 17,930. In here? Is there something in here you were looking at? Like this up candle right there? I wouldn't have looked at it that way. But I will tell you this. This is obviously hindsight as well. But you know what? What do you notice about this at 9:05? That's interesting. Not only is that a new hour, buying below the open of the hour. Don't forget who taught you that shit that everybody knows now. Not only do you have that imbalance on the way up, but you do have this previous one as well. So that would be a inverted imbalance on that, which is pretty cool. And yeah, fractal low. I would agree. But again, like I said earlier, me personally, I was not targeting up here for the Nasdaq. I just wasn't. Looking at it now, because we're way up here and this is hindsight, yeah, you look at it and you went, damn, that would have been a really, really good trade. But at the time, I was not looking at it that way. So, I mean, it's up to you to decide for that. I just, as always, I prefer a higher probability target than this, like this news candle right there at 7:30 Central. Would you trade gold long term, or is it volatility and price action? I prefer physical metals, but I guess if I was going to trade gold, it'd probably be like on an ETF. Probably not leveraged for a long term. When the Dow took a previous day high, it quickly sells off. In the past, you have suggested that if the price sells off fast, you can trade a small retracement into an imbalance. Yes, electric. Yes. Would that be a mitigation model on 5 minute where the inverted imbalance is? No. No. I don't look at it that way. You have an up candle here and that imbalance there, but it doesn't match the model the way that I would look at it, because it doesn't have a higher probability target that I like or that I care for. And you already know in your notes, I don't know where my printout is, but it says that there's no high probability target, I'm not taking a trade. So you can have setups that do run, but you know, if it doesn't meet your criteria, then it just doesn't meet your criteria. So the answer to that would be no. Zay. And Lucas, I'm honestly not sure. I'm honestly not sure. I don't know. Look Look at all these highs that were cleared at 7:30. Look at that. Look at all these highs right up here. They got yoinked right at 7:30. Ugh. Yeah, this is gross. This is gross. Silver, almost the same story, but these on the daily time frames have not been seasonally bullish as per previous years. Right? Like, look at gold. What the fuck is this? What is this, bro? High, or excuse me, low, high. That's our most immediate range on a daily. And we're just near the middle. And that really sets up for buying below lows and shorting above highs, right? Consolidation, you know? So, but yeah, where it's at on the daily right now is disgusting. Like, look at this weekly time frame. Look at this shit. Look at it. Higher lows and lower highs. This is horrible. Now, if you want to trade like a 5-minute or a 1-minute, be my guest. Great. But on like an overall basis, I just think this is horrible. So I know like 5 of you asked about gold. So there's my thoughts. I think gold is not worth trading in my opinion. I just don't think it's worth it. Okay? I just don't think it's worth it. Man, I'm tired today, bro. I don't even know why. I really don't even know why. Let's go take a look what the indices are doing here. Almost 45 minutes into the afternoon. So we didn't quite grab that high. And Nasdaq getting a little bit of a pullback as well. We didn't quite get to the 50 level either. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's really about it, chat. I mean, we're at all-time highs. It's Friday. PM session. First week of the month. It's been a janky week. So, I probably wouldn't be too anxious to do anything. But I would be curious. Are they going to run stops here? Are they going to run stops here? Or are they going to deny longs the opportunity to TP up there and end up trading for some lows, for some trailing stops? That's what I'm curious about. Or are they going to whoop-de-whoop? Or just trade higher and then just keep going into the close and just do that? I mean, I don't know. What's the cheat meal today, Naruto? Assuming that I didn't have a cheat meal yesterday, today would be maybe tacos or pizza. But I had tacos yesterday, so today might have to be a regular day. I don't know. I felt lazy yesterday. As in, like, not wanting to cook. I need another energy drink is what I need. Or a cold plunge. That's what I need. I need to wake up. Yesterday, the Dow sold off into an hourly imbalance. Would you agree this is mitigation? Post a chart in the Discord, and then I'll take a look at it after the stream is over. That's what the Discord is for, my friend. We have, or you guys have access to the chat. even though we chat in the charts chat and we post charts in the chat. It's all right. I do it too. It's okay. But the charts chat is a great place to post your chart. And I'll look at it. Many intelligent experts say that the stock market will crash in 2024. Oh, then it's definitely going up if everybody thinks it's going lower. Because of all-time highs and many other confirmations. What are your thoughts about it? I mean, you had Robert Kiyosaki that's been saying to buy gold for the last fucking 10 years. 10, 20 years, man, has been saying, buy gold, buy gold. Right? So he was right in what, a 10-year span? Like it took 10 years for that to pan out. But 2012, 2013, 14, and 15, you were getting your ass handed to you. I think he's been saying buy silver too, and silver really hasn't done much the last few years either. I mean, gold has, but silver not so much. So everyone wants to try and call tops in the market. Everybody can't call tops in the market, okay? Like even myself, I'm not trying to call a high right now. I don't know. I think easily the S&P could create a new high of day. I think it easily could. Would I be surprised if it ended up like in the last hour getting some volatility and running the, I don't think it's going to go 513. I don't see a run below this consolidation today. But I mean, this thing could easily do that. But I'm not trying to make a prediction like that. All these people who kept saying stock sell-off have been wrong. We're at all-time highs. So what is, first of all, let's use the Socratic method for a minute. Let's define what is an intelligent expert. Or like these flyers that you see, industry expert. Well, what the fuck? What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Top this or top that. Well, what the fuck? What scale are you even using? Is this even verifiable? Like, what are we doing? So, I think it's just matrix shit, bro. I think it's just matrix shit. Just building liquidity. that's all it is. You're just exit liquidity. You know? It'd be like that sometimes. And I don't have any thoughts on Bitcoin. I don't have any thoughts on it. I think it's up. I don't have any of it. I don't have any Bitcoin. Or I might have like $10 worth of Bitcoin. Whoop de fucking do. The experts are Ray Dalio and many other good books. So is Ray Dalio calling for a market crash, or is he actually short? Because there's a big difference between, oh, I think it's going to go lower, and then actually putting money up that it's going to go lower. So there's a vast difference. Bears have been wrong for years. Just look at it. We're at all-time highs again. Every time we get to all-time highs, somebody says we're going to short. There's only a very specific scenario where I look for shorts. And yes, that's in my book too. We called out this short back in early 2020. We called that top, and it absolutely ripped everyone a new one back in 2020. That's in my book because it was very specific. But then look what happens. We got to all-time highs again. Oh, the market's going to crash. It pulls back and then rips everyone a new one. consistently, right? Oh, all-time highs is going to crash. And you're right. We definitely got a pullback for a while, for about a year, maybe a little bit less than a year. You're right. And then now we're back at all-time highs again. So just because we're back at all-time highs doesn't mean we're gonna crash. Okay, that's not what that means at all. Now, if I had a 401k, I was getting ready to retire, I'd probably switch to bonds here. S&P hitting 500, Nasdaq at all-time highs. I would probably switch to bonds just to lock this in and not be pissed off if it keeps flying. But most of you are young and you just want to swing trade or day trade, so it doesn't really apply to you. But that's just my thoughts on it. It's just macro shit. I watch the markets too much to really worry too much about macro perspectives. Okay. Have you ever been deceived? Yes. Yes, many times. By people, but never the market. Never the market. So you probably don't think that's funny, but I do. Anyway. Have you ever been deceived by seasonality, wanting to sell in the month of February? Absolutely, because the seasonality graph suggests it, and not risk buying and seeing the purchasing opportunities leave without you, because that's what happened to me. Seasonality is a roadmap, my friend. The seasonality is a roadmap. It is a suggestion. It is, we may likely trade lower, or likely trade higher, or likely consolidate. The market is not going to follow seasonality all the time. It is a good macro confirmation, like something to be aware of. Like when everybody was trying to short gold a few weeks ago, and I was basically saying, you're an idiot. I was like, you're a fucking retard. Right, respectfully. They thought this was a short, and I said, good luck. You're shorting in the middle of a bullish seasonal pattern. Good fucking luck to you. Drops down a little bit. Whoop. Trades higher. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the perfect trader, okay? I'm not the perfect analyst either, but I know how to recognize dumb shit when I see it. Okay? Now, if you were looking for shorts up here, yeah, maybe, but it hasn't been a sustained short move. It's still a bullish seasonal pattern. The only difference between this year and every other year is at the tail end of 2023, which was only 2 months ago, we had hit all-time highs. Remember I was saying 2100 for like the longest time, and then we actually overshot that and got to 2140 something. So we're coming off of all-time highs, but it's still in a bullish seasonal pattern. So it's kind of stuck in this weird place. And obviously you can see that in the price action too. We got lower highs and higher lows. We got a big ass triangle formation. Like, ugh, gross. But seasonality is a roadmap. It's a suggestion. It's a, if your setups align with this, or if relative strength aligns with this, then it's extra, it's better. It'll give you a little bit more confidence. I guess confidence is probably the word I'm looking for. Okay. What is this, a 5 minute? Ugh. Gross. Gross. So just keep it here for a minute. Are you looking confident at the futures for the next years in trading indices? I don't understand what that means. Are you looking confident at the future for the next years in trading indices? Yeah, Lucas, I'm not sure what that means. I don't know. I have no idea. If you could rephrase that, maybe I can get to it. This is really the last thing I have for you guys. The mindset mastery. Okay, the mindset mastery. So let me say this. I've looked at things like law of attraction. I've looked at things like a lot of the personal development, self-help ideas in the industry, and especially in the MLM industry. I've also looked at Stoic philosophy. I've looked at Christianity. Okay. And there are a lot of conflicting ideas between what people teach in the personal development industry and what is taught in other schools of thought. So I'm not going to say that what I have is, better than another. But what I will say is I know what has worked for myself. I know what's worked for others. And what I'm going to do is present the best of the best information. I don't know who's spamming the 100, but I appreciate that. I can see that. Unless it's just glitched out, I don't know, but somebody is like absolutely raping the 100 emoji right now. I think there are people out there that have really good intentions on teaching a proper mindset or what they believe to be a proper mindset, but I do think a lot of it is wrong. I think a lot of it is wrong. I'll give you an easy example. There are people out there that say you can have anything you want. You can have anything and everything you want. And then you have Seneca and the Stoics who are like, no man has the power to have what he wants, but he has the power to not want those things and to be grateful for what you do have. Right? That happiness is not found in externals, but found like on an internal basis. So that's like one example. Okay. So, but I will say this. I'll meet you halfway by saying I think somebody should dream big, or someone should have, goals and aspirations, dreams or whatever. But I think you are way over the top if you're telling someone that you could have anything you want. That's, I don't know. Me personally, I think it's just a damaging idea, because when you tell somebody they can have anything and they don't get what they want, they're going to be disappointed, and you're setting them up for disappointment. Whereas when you do the inverse of that and say, hey, look, you may not buy a fucking Lamborghini. You might not afford that big ass house that you want, but you know what? At least you have a roof over your head now. At least you can get from point A to point B now. At least you have something to be grateful for. There are people that don't have a house or don't have a car. So instead of setting that person up for disappointment, you're setting them up for gratitude. And that, I think, is a better path to happiness, per se, than it is to try and tell someone they can have the world, because you're obviously not going to have, you're not like going to get the things that you're not going to get everything you want. You know what I mean? And so that's just the opposite of, like, that just goes against what is taught in today's world. You know, again, I think there's good intentions, but I think they take it too far. There's no middle ground. Does that make sense? So there's just a balance. There's a golden mean, as Aristotle would put it. You got to find some middle ground that maybe is the best of both worlds. Aim high, but be grateful for what you have, you know? That, I think, is a much better route for people, especially younger people. I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong. If you don't agree, if you really, really believe that you can have anything and everything you want, you're allowed to disagree with me. You can say, no, John, I don't agree with that. You know, I've got this and that, and I've achieved this and that. Okay. Well, you keep putting things, you keep trying to focus on things you can't control, and that is going to absolutely rip your face off one day. I promise it will rip your face off one day, because you can't control everything. And when you think you can, good luck to you. Good luck to you. Your ass is fucking grass. Your ass is grass, my friend. Okay? So, but it's just, I'm calling it mindset mastery because it's an alliteration and it sounds good. The name's not important, but I think the content is. And a lot of it is ancient philosophy. A lot of it is going to be Stoic philosophy. Not New Age, not fucking vibrations and affirmations. I think they can help you. I think they have a place if they help you, but I think people have placed, I think it's overrated is the right word. I think all that stuff is overrated. But anyway, I don't want to go on, I'll go on a long ass tangent about, because I can keep going, but I'm not going to do that to you today. Expectations are the root of all disappointment. Yeah. Theodore Roosevelt said comparison is the thief of joy. So what would he know? He's just a badass ex-president who did a lot of cool shit. But, you know, sure, you're a fucking 25-year-old mentor that's on a flyer who makes fucking $2,000 a month from MLMs, definitely knows better. Yeah. Whatever, man. Who do you listen to? Jim Rohn. Did you expect to be where you are now early in your career? Oh, hell no, bro. Hell no. I had no idea. When I first started trading, I was not a good trader, dude. I was not a good trader. But I saw the power of it, though. I mean, bro, you see yourself. I'll put it to you this way. The very first trade I ever made, the very first trade I ever took, it was on a penny stock. I threw half my account into it, which was stupid. But that stock boomed over a few months. And that one trade, my very first trade I ever took, I made, I think, $1,700. Right? $1,700. Now, in today's world, $1,700, well, you're not gonna go buy a Lamborghini with that. But you compare that $1,700 in one trade when I was only getting maybe like $900 every 2 weeks or $800 every 2 weeks. So I saw the power of trading, and I'm pretty sure we're going to run for this high now, or like very soon. I saw the power of trading, and like that's what made me stick to it. But did I see myself being a teacher and a mentor and running a Discord one day? No. No. I didn't want to be a teacher for a long time. I was like, I don't want to do that. But I gave in, and then I learned to love it. Then I became an educator. Then I did that for a couple years, and then I said, well, fuck this. I'll go on YouTube. And here we are. So there's the last 10 years in a nutshell. What does manifestation even mean? I don't know. Look it up. Google it. It just means that, you know, you say things like, oh, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm now a consistent trader, even though you're not consistent. You know, like you're trying to manifest something. I don't know. I'm not the best person to ask for that. I think you're better off on Google or YouTube for that, to be honest. How long did it take you to become profitable but consistent? Bro, it took me years, man. Being consistent is fucking hard. Because even sometimes I'm not consistent. I might go break even too early, or I might under leverage, you know, on accident or maybe even on purpose. So, you know, I'm not a perfect trader that I think some of you think that I might be, and that's not it at all. So, and thank you for that, Naruto. I like having a mantra or affirmations. It helps me build a positive relationship for myself. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, affirmations I do think have their place. I mean, the Stoics had mantras, but they were different from I'm so happy and grateful that I'm a millionaire or that I'm a billionaire or some shit. Like, it was I think the context was way different. Thank you for the comment, Nina. I appreciate that. But the gurus say if you collect a bunch of funny looking rocks, you can be unstoppable. Yeah, some rocks. That reminds me of that comedian dude. I'm not retarded, but I like rocks. I don't know if y'all watch Kill Tony or not, but anyway. That's pretty much it for today. So we might consolidate, we might sell off, or it's only 4 points or three or 4 points away from this high. So I think it could easily yoink that. But I honestly don't know. I really don't. We are so wildly mixed today, like we have been all week. So the S&P being in the middle, even though it's slightly higher, what do you expect? And that's the answer is I don't know. But I gave you 3 ideas in last night's market review on what to do in conditions like this. There's easily 3 things you can do. What do you think about karma? Well, I think karma is just a different name, or, you know, a title for you reap what you sow. You know, what you do comes back to you type shit. But, you know, that's about the extent of that. More energy has to be put into the actual work than the affirmations itself is how I see it. The affirmation is a bonus. The work is what moves the needle. So I'll put it to you this way. And this will be what I leave you with. I think lying to yourself is damaging. I think affirming things you don't have can be very dangerous for people. I think what works better for motivation or for resilience, I think it's better to just remind yourself of what you already have done. Remind yourself of what you've already done. You survived 100% of your worst days. You know, like an easy example like that. Or maybe you're on a losing streak. You took 2 or 3 losses. Well, remind yourself, you know what? You've been on a winning streak before too. Like, I think being truthful is better than lying to yourself. But, you know, it's just my opinion. And so that's what I'll leave it. That's what I'll leave you guys with. So, with that being said, y'all have a good weekend. We will be here, same time, same place, on the 12th, on Monday. So, be good. And I'll see you then.
Long for meaning in this madness we call life. Reach for the ceiling to see what's beyond the skies. Mixed feelings and trying to transcribe the maneuvers from these demons that I see before my eyes. My soul grieving, we all reaching for a prize. Soul need a slitter in the way of time. Hold secrets that could wash away the lies. Chasing shadows manifested in our minds. Development, lifeless, reticent, along the way lost the essence.